The best plan in the world is the one that you'll actually execute on a Wednesday in February when everything's gone fucking sideways. I don't know what to do, so I will pay somebody who does. They will then tell me, and I will then do it and get the results. The thing about motivation is it's unreliable. It shows up on day 1 and day 2, and then it starts negotiating. By day 14, it's making a case for why you've earned a break. By day 30, it's fucked off entirely. So I recently had a strategy call with a potential client. It was a great call. She came in, she told me her goals, we went through everything. Where she is now, what's been getting in her way, and ultimately what slowed her down and stopped her completely in the past. By the end of the call, she mapped out a full journey. 30, 60, 90-day goals, then 6 months and 12 months. It's clear targets, a clear path to each one, and then the whole thing laid out in front of her. The next day, she pulled out. The reason? The plan didn't include a strict meal plan. Now, that may have been a genuine deal breaker for her, or it may have just been a smokescreen. Either way, it told me something I keep seeing over and over again. Most people don't actually know what a coach does. They think they're buying a meal plan and a set of workouts. And when they don't see those in front and centre, they think something's missing. When actually, the thing they're looking at, i.e. what a coach or a proper coach actually does, is the thing that's been missing the whole time. I'm Tom and I run Autonomous Fitness, and that call is the exact reason I'm making this video. Because if you think coaching is someone handing you a meal plan and a training split and saying off you go, I kind of get it why you would think that, because that's how it's sold most of the time. But that's not what changes bodies. That's not what gets people from stuck to unstuck. And I want to break down exactly what does. So whether you end up working with me or not, at least you understand what the job really is. Let's start with the assumption. Most people walk into coaching think it's an instruction problem. I don't know what to do, so I will pay somebody who does. They will then tell me, and I will then do it and get the results. It's clean, it's logical, but it's completely wrong. And here's why. Information has never been more available. You can Google any training split, any macro calculator, any meal plan, and any exercise tutorial for free right now on this. With AI, it's even easier. If information was the bottleneck, nobody would be stuck and everybody would be fucking jacked. Clearly, that's not what's happening. So, if it's not an information problem, what is it? It's everything that surrounds that information. It's the system the information lives inside, and that system is what a coach actually builds. When I take on new clients, the workout program is probably the last thing I think hard about. What I'm actually designing is the structure that fits their life. When do they train, realistically and not just aspirationally? What does their week actually look like? When are the pressure points, the work trips, the kids' bedtimes, the stressful quarters? What have they tried before, and why did it fall apart? Because here's the thing. A perfect program that doesn't fit your life is much worse than the average program that does. The best plan in the world is the one that you'll actually execute on a Wednesday in February when everything's gone fucking sideways. So the job isn't to hand you an optimal workout. The job is to build structure where consistency becomes the path of least resistance. That's the design work. That's the whole system. The second thing a coach does that nobody talks about, they hold the line. And this kind of gets misunderstood as accountability, which makes it sound soft. It's not soft, it's structural. The thing about motivation is it's unreliable. It shows up on day 1 and day 2, and then it starts negotiating. By day 14, it's making a case for why you've earned a break. By day 30, it's fucked off entirely. If your whole approach depends on feeling motivated, then I'm afraid you have got absolutely no chance. A coach is the external standard that you can't talk your way out of at 6 a.m. It's not because I'm going to shout at you. That's not how this works. It's because when you know somebody's watching the numbers, the check-ins, the expected work, the internal negotiation gets harder. The path of least resistance shifts. You do the work not because suddenly you feel like it, but because the cost of doing nothing, it all of a sudden went up. And that's not pressure. I see it as protection. It's protecting you from the version of yourself that makes bad decisions when you're tired and you're stressed. Everybody has that version. I have that version. A coach is simply a buffer against it. The third job of a decent coach, and quite possibly the most underrated, a coach sees what you can't see. You are way too close to your own progress to read it accurately. I see this consistently. Clients come to their weekly check-ins convinced that nothing's working. Meanwhile, I'm looking at all their data, their weight trend, their measurements, training numbers, photos, the sleep, the steps, everything else that comes with it, and I can see very clearly that something shifted. Or sometimes on the reverse. Someone's buzzing because the scale dropped 2 kilos, and I'm telling them to pump the brakes just a little bit because it's water weight and we need to look at the trend over 3 weeks, not 3 days. You can't coach yourself through this because your emotions are in the way. You overweight the setbacks because they sting a little bit, and then you underweight the wins because you're comparing yourself to where you want to be, not where you started. A coach reads the data without the emotional distortion, and then just tells the truth. Both the good truth and the shit truth. That's not a small thing. That might be the single most valuable part of the whole arrangement. Fourth is adapting when life doesn't cooperate. Because it won't cooperate. It never fucking does. This is what separates a 12-week program off the shelf from actual coaching. The program assumes that everything is going to go to plan. Coaching essentially assumes that it won't. You're going to get sick. You're going to have a week from hell at work. You're going to tweak your back moving furniture. You're going to go on holiday. Life is simply going to happen repeatedly because that is just what life does. When you're running a program solo, every disruption tends to become a crisis. You don't know whether to push through it or pull back or swap things out or scrap the week entirely. So you either overreact and quit or you underreact and make things worse. When you're coached, the disruption is just the information. We adjust, we keep moving, we stay clear on what the plan is. And that's the difference between people who make progress over a year and people who have 3 good weeks and then fall off. It's not discipline, it's adaptation. One person has a system that bends, it's flexible. The other person has a plan. So when you zoom out and you ask what you're actually paying for a coach, the honest answer isn't exercise or macros. It's certainty. You're paying for the certainty that what you're doing is going to work. Certainty that somebody competent is actually watching you. Certainty that the effort you're putting in isn't being wasted. And once you have that certainty, something changes. The work gets easier. It's not physically, obviously, the sets are still hard and the deficit is still a fucking deficit. But the mental weight lifts. You stop researching. You stop starting over. You just fucking execute. And execution over time is this whole thing. So here it is. If you've been trying to figure this out on your own for months or years, and you keep ending back where you started, the thing you're missing probably isn't another workout program or another diet. It's the system that fits around it. That's exactly what I do. So if you want to talk about whether coaching makes sense for where you are right now, there's a link in the description below, or you can DM me the word coach on Instagram. If this video made something click for you, then hit subscribe, because I put stuff out like this weekly, and I will see you in the next one.